The sun dipped low, painting the endless highway in hues of tired orange and bruised purple. Miles stretched into oblivion, and the fuel gauge on Emark's dashboard had been flirting with empty for what felt like an hour. He gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, the rhythmic hum of the road the only sound for what felt like forever. Just as despair began to gnaw, a faded, flickering neon sign materialized in the twilight haze. Sotno Gas and Grill. Relief washed over him, quickly followed by a prickle of unease. He didn't remember seeing Sotno on any map, but at this point, any port in a storm. Mark pulled into the gas station, the gravel crunching loudly under his tires. It was an anachronism, a single rusty pump, an ancient sign advertising prices from decades past, and a general store with dim, dusty windows. As he stepped out, the air felt thick, heavy, like static before a storm. An old man, skeletal and stooped, emerged from the store, his eyes unnervingly bright in the gloom. He shuffled towards Mark, a slow, deliberate gait. Mark offered a weary smile. Evening. Just need some gas. Regular. The old man's lips curled into a strange, unsettling grin. Oi plehainak, he rasped, his voice like dry leaves scuttling across pavement. Mark blinked, processing the jumble of sounds. I'm sorry? He asked, a knot forming in his stomach. The attendant merely gestured towards the pump, then towards the general store. Ag ot e Disney. Yep. Mark, despite his growing unease, was desperate for fuel. He decided it was just a strange accent, perhaps a foreign language he hadn't recognized. He pumped the gas, the nozzle feeling cold and alien in his hand, then walked into the store. Inside it was a cavern of forgotten goods, lit by a single, buzzing fluorescent light. A handful of locals, all with the same unnervingly bright eyes and slight, unsettling smiles, turned to stare at him. A woman at the counter, her hair a wild silver mane, piped up, "Emokegnitchking na riz." Mark felt a chill. They were all speaking like that. It wasn't an accent, it was backward. Mark fumbled for his wallet. Just the gas. $20. He pushed a bill across the counter. The woman stared at it, then at him, her smile widening unnervingly. Srelod twen, sai selod tlen. She pointed to the bill, then held up a different bill, almost identical but subtly off, with a different denomination. Mark's mind raced. Was it a different currency? No, the bill was definitely a 20. He tried again, pointing to the numbers. 20. For the fuel. Another local, a burly man with a thick beard, leaned in, his backward words a low rumble. "Oh Lord, see a cop's drock ka bil noer." Mark backed away, a cold dread seeping into his bones. This wasn't a language barrier, it was something far more sinister. He managed to pay for the gas, using a smaller bill that seemed to satisfy them in their bizarre backward currency exchange, and practically ran back to his car. He started the engine, the familiar rumble a comforting sound in the increasingly surreal environment. He reversed, heart pounding, and sped out of the station, eager to put Sotno behind him. But as he looked in his rearview mirror, the road he had just driven in on was gone, vanished. replaced by an endless swirling mist. He slammed on the brakes, skidding to a halt. The gas station and the entire town seemed to have twisted, rotated, now facing him, its dim lights glowing malevolently through the fog. A chorus of backward whispers drifted on the wind. Eveltnak Uoi. Panic surged through Mark. He tried to turn the car, but the steering wheel felt stiff, resistant. He mashed the accelerator, driving blindly into the swirling mist, hoping to find any escape. The whispers intensified, now seeming to come from inside the car, from within his own mind. He gripped his head, trying to shake them off. The town wasn't just speaking backward, it was thinking backward, existing backward. The mist began to coalesce, forming vague, shadowy figures that danced at the edges of his vision. Their faces distorted, the mouths open and silent, screaming backward words. Ekarani ere oa, yawandurt na. The words clawed at his sanity. His car hit something, an invisible wall, jolting him forward. He looked up, dazed, to see the old gas station attendant from before, standing directly in front of his windshield. The attendant's unsettling smile was wider now, revealing too many teeth, too sharp. He slowly raised a hand, pressing it against the glass. Mark saw his own reflection, horrified, begin to ripple, to unmake itself. His buzz-cut hair grew long, then receded. His sharp jawline softened, then hardened. His faded denim jumpsuit changed color, then design, then vanished. He heard a final, chilling whisper, clear as a bell, even though it was backward. Eon Godovla, Dofgniven Pots, Sichtgnigate Biovomu. Mark screamed, but the sound that came out was a garbled, guttural inversion of his own voice, a sound that could only be understood backward. He was becoming one of them, his reality unraveling, becoming the very thing he feared. A permanent resident of Sotno, the town that moved backward through time, through sanity, through existence itself.